everyone, it's Gina from Orchid and Opal Jewelry and Beads, and I'm back today with another Facet Jewelry Box. So you guys might remember that I did a review on this recently, and you can go back and take a look at that link. I'll leave it down below and also try to link it up there for you if you're interested in seeing it. But the wonderful folks at Facet Jewelry Box contacted me again. They said they wanted to send me a stitching box to try out on my channel, and if you guys remember, the first box that I did was their stringing box. So they do have two different types of subscriptions. This is a beaded jewelry making project box that's a monthly subscription. Inside are two projects that you can create. They send some really fantastic instructions, very detailed and colorful, and also all the materials that you'll need besides the usual pliers and scissors and whatnot. So I have no idea which projects are inside. This is one of their older boxes, and that's why they sent it to me, because they had some extra boxes laying around and they thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to try it out and share it with you guys. So I'm not here to sell you this box or anything. Any opinions you hear me express are going to be 100% my own. I'm not being paid to do this review as usual, but I definitely wanted to try out their stitching box, and I wanted to film it so you guys could check it out as well and decide if it might be right for you. So I haven't opened it yet. Let's go ahead and see what's inside. So you can see this one's probably from earlier this year in April based on that sticker. And the box is $24.99 a month, and I will leave all the links below as far as how you can get to their website and subscribe. That does include shipping, so there's no additional fee for that, in the US at least. And they're offering a really generous discount to my viewers. You can use the code HALF at checkout to receive 50% off your very first subscription box. So I thought that was a great deal, and definitely take advantage of that if that's something that would interest you. I really loved the stringing box, and I highly recommend that. So I'm hoping the stitching box will be the same way. Oh wow. So these are the two projects that are inside the box, and it's funny because I'm actually looking on their website right now in front of me. You guys don't see, but I have my computer in front of me. And when I went to their stitching website for their subscription box, this bracelet is actually featured on the website, and I thought to myself, man, I really would love to get that bracelet, but what are the chances that I would get that? But I just opened it up and here it is, so I think that's pretty cool. So we have this gorgeous bracelet right here, and then these really cool looking earrings that I'm intrigued by. So I'm excited to see what kinds of materials they sent for these projects, and like you can see, they have a really nice booklet here that's very detailed as far as the instructions and the colorful images, and it lists everything included for each project. You have your materials here, and then they even send you a little bit extra, which I thought was nice. From my previous box, I noticed that they not only sent you exactly what you needed for the project, but they send you a little bit extra, which is fantastic. So here's just a quick look, quick peek inside the book so you guys can check out what you'd be able to find. Here's the next project, and this is a 2-drop peyote stitch, which actually I haven't done. I've done lots of peyote, just regular peyote, but I haven't gotten around to doing a 2-drop, so that should be fun. And also I'm excited to try out the little cube beads that they are sending for that project. So that should be really nice. So I look forward to following these instructions, and what I'll do is I'll pick a project. After showing you guys just what's in the box, I'm going to pick a project and we will work on it together and see how the instructions relate to the actual project, if they did a good job with the instructions, if they're easy to follow, and just give you a general idea of what you might be able to expect if you were to sign up for this subscription box. So here they have a nice little discount code. They have a website called jewelryandbeadingstore.com where you can get additional tools and things you might need for jewelry making. So if you're interested, you can use that discount code as well. So let's go through the box and see what is inside. And you can see here that they have everything packaged up so nicely and easy to determine what's what, which they did for the stringing box, and I was really happy about. I like when things are labeled really clearly. It makes it so simple, and when you have two projects in one box, you definitely don't want the items getting confused. And how cute is this little fire line? I use fire line all the time for my bead weaving, and they sent you your own little spool of fire line to play with for these projects. This is in the smoke color, which is the dark gray, almost a black color. And so let's see, first let's get into the bag for the earrings. So once again, they have it nicely labeled on the outside, and then even the bags on the inside are labeled, which is great. So you can see too, they sent very nice quality seed beads. These are Miyuki. These are a Japanese 15-0 seed bead. They're very, very tiny, but very consistent. So they didn't just send you maybe a knockoff or off-brand type seed bead. These are very good quality. And I know from my stringing box before, like they had done the same thing. They had sent me Swarovski crystals, for example, instead of just Chinese crystals. I mean, they were definitely into sending the good quality stuff. So here's some more Miyukis, 11-0s. And then here are the teardrops. And it doesn't say the brand or anything, so it doesn't look like these are Swarovski. But they do look nice. These are, looks like two different colors in here, some little drops. They sent us our findings, and also they sent a needle, which is great. Size 11 beading needle. So, and again, even down to the needle, everything is labeled for that particular project. So I like their attention to detail for sure. I think this type of box is really great for anyone who's new to beading and who wants to learn some stitching. Maybe you're used to stringing and you haven't made the move over to doing any bead weaving or stitching. This would definitely be a great opportunity to try out a box, especially with that half-off discount code. And I also think these make really great gifts. But I was really pleased. For $24.99, I definitely think it's worth it, especially if you just are trying to learn. You don't have a big stash of your own. Like, they send everything for you, so you don't have to have a stash built up. They send you exactly what you need, so you don't have to buy large quantities of things you might only use a little bit of. And it's great to get a variety of different techniques under your belt that you can take and use when you do decide to do more things on your own or maybe create your own original designs. So here is the collection of materials for the bracelet. And again, we have a needle and a clasp. So they sent us an additional needle, which is great. Here are some Miyuki cube beads, which are really nice. And again, Miyuki's great quality. They sent some Miyuki seed beads, 11-0s. And then they sent some fire polished check beads, which are very nice. Very cute there. So definitely off to a great start with this box, just like I had said in their stringing box review. So far, everything seems very well organized, high quality materials, a little bit even more than you'd need, and the instruction booklet looks extremely clear. So I'm going to stop the video here, and I'm going to get prepared to complete one of these projects while I film it so you guys can get an idea of how clear the instructions are. So stay tuned. Alright, you guys, I decided to go all in and try out this bracelet pattern on camera with you, and we'll see how it turns out. So you can see we're actually going to be weaving in some of those cube beads with some fire polish beads in between. And these are the materials we're going to be using. Of course, everything was all nicely bagged up for us, and it says you also need a beading surface and scissors to cut the fire line, which is pretty much a given. And it says for the first part, you need 2 yards of fire line and then attach a 11-0 seed bead as a stop bead. And then leave a 9-inch tail and then pick up 12 cube beads. So then it gives you a little basic information about how to attach a stop bead. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we're going to follow the instructions as it has them written out there. And I have already cut my fire line and threaded my needle. And so we're going to attach our stop bead right here, leaving our nice 9-inch tail that they recommend. And I'm just eyeballing that. Okay, so I've just basically made a half knot here to secure our stop bead, and we'll go ahead and follow the directions. It says that we want to pick up 12 of those little cube beads, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to set the instructions up here so you can do that. One other thing that I thought was nice, and again, I'm not here to sell the box, there's nothing in it for me, but I honestly really do like the box, is I haven't actually used these little cube beads, and I've seen them and I've wanted to use them. So even for a seasoned beader like me, there's benefits to getting this box. There's new materials for me to try, new stitches for me to try. I also hadn't done the 2-drop peyote before, so it's very interesting for me. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we picked up 12 of those cube beads like it says. I'm going to go ahead and string them down to my stop bead, and then I'm going to flip the page and we'll see what the next instructions say. So it says, working in 2-drop peyote stitch, pick up 2 cubes, skip the last 2 cubes added in the previous step, and sew back through the following 2 cubes, working toward the tail. Repeat this stitch twice to complete the row. So that's what we're going to do. So I have my 12 cube beads there strung on, and it said to pick up 2 more. So we're going to do that. And then it said to skip the 2 here at the top, and then go ahead and go through the next 2. So I'm skipping those 2, I'm going through the next 2. Okay, and then we're going to do that again, so I'm going to pick up 2 more. I'm going to skip these 2 and go through the next 2. And I'm working with quite a bit of thread here, so it's a little bit of a juggling act, just trying to get everything squared away without getting tangled and keeping it focused for you guys to see. Alright, so we did that. I'm going to pick up 2 more, skip these 2, and then go through the last 2 like it says to do. And then we're just pulling it so that everything kind of starts to fit together. So we can compare what I have to the picture, and it looks good. So let's just see what this part in purple says. It says, if you prefer illustrations to photos, here are the first rows of this 2-drop peyote project as shown. Okay, so it's just giving you another kind of visual diagram to look at. Alright, so then let's see, moving on to number 3, pick up 2 cubes and sew through the next pair of up beads. So let's see, pick up 2 cubes. And let me just get everything situated here. Alright, so when it says up beads, it's referring to these beads that are sticking out right here. So I have 2 on my needle, and then we're going to go through those 2 beads there that are sticking out, if it will indulge me in focus. There we go. So we're going to go through those. We're working away from the tail, and it says repeat that twice to complete the row. So I'm going to pick up 2 more, and we're going to go through the next 2 that are sticking out. These beads are so pretty. I love the finish on them. They have that AB finish that's so pretty. Okay, and then 2 more. Going through the ones that are sticking out. just like that. So we have this really cool pattern starting to form right there, which is very interesting. Number 4, it says work 3 stitches with 2 cubes per stitch, working toward the tail. So I'm just flipping this over, tail's up here, and it says we're going to do that again, just like we did, working back to the tail. So again, we need to pick up 2 more of our cube beads, and then go through the 2 that are sticking out, and it just pops those into place. It's kind of like laying bricks, where you just kind of go layer by layer. So I picked up 2 more. I'm going through these 2 that are sticking out. Picking up 2 more. And finally going through these top ones that are sticking out. Just like that. So let's do a little comparison side by side with the picture. And it looks like everything's looking good. So I have the 2 rows of 3 on the top and 2 rows of 2 on the bottom, and there's my tail thread, just like it has there in the picture. Everything's been very clear so far to follow. So our 5th step, it says work a stitch with 2 cubes working away from the tail, pick up a 3mm fire polish bead and sew through the following pair of up beads. Repeat to work another stitch with a 3mm. So it looks like we'll be popping in 2 of our 3mm in this next row. It's exciting, guys. We're going to do something different this time. Alright. So we're going to pick up 2 of the cubes, and we're going to go away from the tail through the 2 that are sticking out, just like it said. And I'm going to move this because it seems like it might be easier to focus if that's out of the way. There we go. So we're going to put those 2 in there, and then it told us to pick up a fire polish, and these are so pretty, and then to pop it into place by going through the next 2. I really like this pattern. And then it said to do that with 1 more. Okay. So far so good. Here we go. Isn't that cool? That's coming together really nicely. So I'm going to set this down and flip the page. We'll take a look at the next page. We're already on step number 6. So number 6 says work a stitch with 2 cubes sewing through the next 3mm. Repeat the stitch once and work a stitch with 2 cubes sewing through the end 2 cubes. Okay. So we're going back the other way again. Just a matter of going back and forth and back and forth. So I'm flipping my work so we can continue to go in an upward motion. And it says it wants us to pick up 2 cube beads and go up the fire polish. And then pick up 2 cube beads and go up the fire polish. And then it says to pick up 2 cube beads and pop those into that next section and go up these 2 cube beads right here. Alright, and I'm just pulling everything nice and tight as I go. Doesn't really mention kind of like, I guess, the tension you want, but maybe that goes without saying. But I guess if you're like brand new, you might just, something you'd want to know is to pull everything nice and tight. Let's see, 7 says work 3 stitches with 2 cubes per stitch. And it says note the last 2 stitches will arch over 3mm beads, not cubes. Okay, so I'm going to pick up 2 cube beads. Let's flip my work so we can go upwards again. And then I'm going to go through those 2 that are sticking out. Okay, I see. And then it wants us to pick up 2 more And it's saying these are going to arch around, so yeah, if you go pick up 2 more and then go through these 2, the cubes that are strung on at this point are going to kind of arch around that fire polish like that. So I see what it's saying. Okay, and then these 2 are going to arch around that fire polish. And I got a little knot going in my thread, so I'm going to take care of that situation. Alright, and then it says, repeat steps 4 through 7 for the desired length. Ending and adding thread is needed. At the end, be sure to work 3 rows with cubes only to mirror the starting end. Leave at least 9 inches of working thread for attaching the clasp. And then tells you about ending the thread. To end the thread, sew back through the last few rows. Okay, doing half-hitch knots, very good. And it does give you information on a video if you need to know more about ending and adding a thread. You can go to facetjewelry.com and search for that video, which is great. And then I guess once we have our bracelet stitched, then we can follow steps 9 and 10 and add on our clasp. And that's it. So let's keep going just a couple more because I've done 2 fire polish, but we want to make sure that we understand how it kind of staggers those. So I'm going to do a couple more rows and see if it still makes sense. So I'm picking up 2 and going through these 2 that are sticking out. And then I'm going to pick up a fire polish bead at this point and go through these 2 that are sticking out. And it should start to stagger those fire polish beads. Yep. And I'm going to pick up another one and pop it in there. Just like that. Alright, and then we're ready to flip it and go back through with our cube beads. So I'm going to pick up 2 more cube beads and go through the fire polish. This is such a fun design. I'm actually really happy that I got this design. I'm happy to try out these cube beads and also some 2-drop peyote stitch because that looked really interesting to me. I've seen it before a lot, but I just hadn't gotten around to trying it, so this is a great opportunity. So here's the step where we're going to be arching around those fire polish again. It actually goes quicker than I thought it would because the cubes are a little bit bigger than like the little 11-0 delicas that I usually use for peyote, and doing a 2-drop is even a little quicker as well. So I can see where once you get going you can whip one of these up pretty quickly. Okay, going through there again. And we're back to the part where we're going to be putting in fire polish. And so this is basically all we're going to be doing for the entire length of the bracelet up until we're ready to end and put on our clasp and then weave in our tails. So it's very therapeutic. I love peyote stitch for that reason because you kind of get in the zone, and if you're maybe watching something at the same time, it can be kind of fun because not only are you maybe being entertained by a show or something else, then you're also making something and feeling kind of productive at the same time, which is always good. Sometimes you just want to zen out, and once you are used to what you're doing, it can be very good for the mind. So look how pretty that is. This makes me want to go out and get some more cube beads, or I should say some cube beads. I don't have any, obviously, but more than this, I like those a lot. Those are really, really cool. So guys, I'm not going to keep you on here while I do the entire length of the bracelet because I think you get the idea, but you can see as a person who's never done the 2-drop peyote before, and I've never worked with the cube beads, even though I am an experienced beader, it was good for you to see that I was able to pick up right away what they were asking us to do. The pattern was very easy for me to follow, the instructions are very clear, the pictures are very clear, so I really didn't have any trouble, and I don't think that even newer beaders who are newer to stitching would have that much trouble either, but it looks like they even have a lot more resources online if a person needed it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the length of this bracelet, and then we'll meet back and we'll follow the remaining steps to put on our clasp. So see you guys soon. Alright you guys, how beautiful is this bracelet? Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. I really love it. It's so pretty. And we're ready to put on our clasp, so it worked up pretty quickly. We can go ahead and follow the step-by-step instructions for adding our clasp. So it says we want to take our working thread, that's the one we're working on with our needle, and pick up 3 11/0 seed beads, and then it looks like we're going to be going through the clasp and picking up 3 more seed beads, and then going up through a couple of these, what they're calling up beads on the side, and doing the same thing with this other hole here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm actually coming out of this side right here, and so I'm going to weave my way back in by going through these 2 beads. Just going down here so we can come up along the outer edge so that we can attach our clasp like it says to do. Alright, so coming up this way, it says pick up 3 of the 11/0 seed beads, and then it says pick up 1 loop of the clasp and then pick up 3 more seed beads, and then sew through the next 2 up beads. So we'll do that. Okay, and I always love to end mine with wire guardians, but I'm gonna do it like it says just for purposes of the review, and it should work just fine if we go through it several times. So then it says repeat to attach the other loop. So I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads, and then I'm going to go up through the other loop on this side of the clasp, and then pick up 3 more seed beads, and then go through those 2 up beads just like it said. Alright. So you can see how it's telling you to secure your clasp, and I'm just going to take a look at the instructions to see if there's anything else it's adding, and looks like it's just giving you an option, like if you wanted to make your bracelet longer, you can, instead of continuing this pattern, you could just make these loops longer, so it's giving you a little tip there. And it's just telling you to, once you have your clasp on, sew through the previous row and retrace the thread path through the clasp connection and end the thread. And it's telling you to repeat these steps on the other end to attach the other side of your clasp. And that's it. So just one thing I want to mention is I did have to add thread, but like it said here, if you don't know how to do that, you can go to their website and it'll show you how to do that. And also just maybe the fact that you want to make sure you have nice, equal, and tight tension when you're pulling your beads, and then when you're done with your bracelet, you want to just make sure you go through multiple times doing half-hitch knots along the way to make your bracelet nice and secure. Of course, right here it does have a section on ending and adding thread, and it says to end a thread, sew back through the last few rows of beadwork following the thread path of the stitch and tying 2 or 3 half hitch knots between beads as you go. So it would be the same principle for just attaching your clasp and ending your thread that way. So there you go, guys. That's one of the projects in this awesome Facet Jewelry Box, the Stitching Box Edition. Once again, all the links are down below. And don't forget to use that code half off if you want to save 50% off your first subscription box. I definitely would recommend it, and I think it would make a great gift, and I think it's awesome for any beader, for beaders who want to learn more about bead weaving, and even those who maybe have some experience and just want to try something new. So also I want to point out, look at how many beads I have left over. So they definitely send you more than you need, and I thought the instructions were very, very clear and easy to follow, and they do offer a lot of support on their website as well. I think the price is really reasonable, so definitely give it a try. If you're interested, feel free to leave me a comment or a question below, and I hope it was helpful for you guys. I really enjoyed making this project, and I am so glad to have the opportunity to have been able to review this box. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love you to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you'd like to see more of my videos, and check out the video description section to follow along on all of my social media handles, visit my Etsy shop, and check out my new website and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching!